My name is Joseph Essertier. I am an American scholar in Japan and the coordinator of the Japan chapter of the peace group World Beyond War. We are a supporting partner of the International People's Tribunal on the 1945 U.S. atomic bombings. I believe that those of you who support SPARC in South Korea are giving many peace-loving Americans an opportunity. It will be a happy day for us when a U.S. government official apologizes to the survivors and to the descendants of the survivors. Please remind Japanese too of their nation's crime of colonialism. The ghosts of Korea are scattered around Japan. Let's stand up for those who are dead and voiceless, and for future generations who need peace.
Hi, I'm Tomoki Fukui, and I'm speaking today because I believe that the International People's Tribunal for the 1945 U.S. atomic bombings can be a vehicle to unify a divided Asia-Pacific in the face of empire. We often understand that nuclear weapons are a threat to peace, but we have more difficulty understanding that all nuclear production is a threat to us because it is a technological and political expression of imperialism and colonialism. Nuclear things are produced through colonization, and they're used to maintain a fundamentally unjust and an exploitative global order. I believe that forming a unified stance against empire in all of its forms is what it means to respond to the demands of Korean atomic bomb survivors. As a student of anti-colonial movements, I know that the future lies in studying and carrying forward the past. I hope that those participating in the tribunal remember that this is the important work that you are doing. We have confidence in you. We have confidence in the truth. And we have confidence that every sacrifice made in the name of justice has meaning. Please remember that we're with you, and we remember you. Keep fighting.
I'm Kathy Kelly. I'm the board president of World Beyond War. And my friends, about 38 years ago, I planted pink seeds of corn on a U.S. nuclear missile silo site, and my companions and I called ourselves peace planters. We were sent to prison. I did 1 year in prison for planting that corn, but the experience deepened in me a desire to always be in solidarity with others like yourselves who plant seeds to cultivate a world without nuclear weapons. I want to say thank you, SPARC, for trying to cultivate peacemaking, dialogue, and negotiation as a means to move beyond the madness of nuclear deterrence and nuclear threats. Thank you, SPARC, for envisioning a unified Korean peninsula, and I believe that the means we use determine the end we get, and you have steadily used wise and non-violent means. I so much admire you, and I thank you for the example you have set.
Hello, my name is Brad Wolf, and I am a member of the U.S. Organizing Committee of the International People's Tribunal. As an American, I feel it is of great importance to be involved in this tribunal since it represents an effort to move towards global peace and reconciliation by way of presenting the facts, the truth about events from over 80 years ago. It is a way of looking back in order to move forward. As this tribunal addresses the consequences of the 1945 atomic bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and their devastating effects on the Korean people, we seek to acknowledge the role that the United States has played in harming innocent Koreans while also addressing the role the United States plays today in increasing tensions throughout Asia. The nuclear umbrella that the United States spreads over various countries does not so much provide protection as it invites danger. We hope that by examining the affairs of August 6th and 9th of 1945 and the devastation wrought, that we can persuade our countries that there are other options toward resolving global differences. The allure of new military technology, the pressure of political and corporate power must not be the driver that decides the fate of millions of people. Instead, finding that universal human connection, that luminous thread that unites us all as a people, is what we must seek. This tribunal is one step toward doing that, toward bringing people from different countries and different cultures together in a spirit of reconciliation and fellowship. SPARC has done an amazing job in organizing this critical tribunal. With our other partner organizations around the world, we look forward to carrying forward a message of hope. There is still much work to do. We are energized by the challenge. We know that as a people, we sink or swim together. And so we must all help create a rising tide of peace and understanding in Asia and across the globe.
안녕하십니까. 저는 미주 한인 평화재단을 대표하여 연대에 인사를 드립니다. 평화홀씨마당을 준비해 주신 모든 분들께 깊이 감사드립니다. 저희는 한반도와 지구촌 평화를 염려하고 있습니다. 지금도 가자, 우크라이나, 그리고 세계 곳곳에서 전쟁으로 수많은 생명이 희생되고 있습니다. 우리는 그 현실 앞에서 전쟁이 아니라 평화, 대결이 아니라 대화를 선택해야 한다는 사실을 다시 확인합니다. 평화는 누군가가 선물해 주는 것이 아니라 시민들의 연대와 행동으로 만들어진다고 믿습니다. 오늘 이 자리에 모인 여러분의 목소리가 한반도와 세계의 평화를 여는 큰 씨앗이 되기를 바랍니다.
It is a seldom acknowledged fact that tens of thousands of Koreans were among the 250,000 people killed in the US nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki 8 decades ago. Their deaths and the suffering of countless other Koreans living in these two Japanese cities at the time have been largely omitted from the history books. Many were there against their free will, working as forced labourers during the period of Japanese colonial rule over Korea. For decades, Korean survivors of the nuclear bombings and their descendants have struggled for official recognition and redress, including proper medical care to treat a multitude of A-bomb-related illnesses. They've also worked tirelessly to advance the cause of peace and nuclear disarmament on the Korean peninsula and beyond, lest anyone else ever suffer as they have. It was a great honour and privilege to meet several survivors during my visit to Korea last August on the solemn occasion of the 80th anniversary of the attacks. In an effort to draw greater public attention to the ongoing suffering of survivors and to reinforce the illegality of the use of nuclear weapons under international law, peace groups in Korea have established an International People's Tribunal on the nuclear bombings. I applaud this initiative and sincerely hope that it will succeed in galvanizing global support for action to abolish nuclear weapons. Only by acknowledging past wrongs can we ensure that they are never repeated.
안녕하세요. Hello, everybody. My name is Margaret Engel, and I'm the Director of Policy and Outreach at Peace Action New York State. I'm also a very proud member of the organizing committee for the International People's Tribunal on the U.S. atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, justice for Korean atomic bomb victims is an issue that I learned about far too late in life. But since I learned about it and since I incorporated it into my peace organizing from New York, it's been something that I care so much about. And I know that the folks at SPARC and also folks from all over the world who've been serving on this organizing committee, legal committee, and elsewhere have been working tirelessly to make sure that this tribunal happens despite everything else going on in the world. I am so looking forward to attending the tribunal in Seoul this November, right before the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons Review Conference in New York. I think it's going to be such an important event coming at such a pivotal and crucial moment in our world's history. So I'm looking forward to attending in Seoul and bringing back all of the information, including the final verdict, to the United States in New York City, to talk about it with other peace organizations, to bring it to my own representatives and my own leadership in the country who have been failing at not only justice for Korean atomic bomb victims, but justice for all victims of nuclear oppression and weapons use. And if we work together, we can really bring about change and bring about a nuclear weapons-free future. I am so happy to have met incredible organizers from Korea, as well as incredible Korean atomic bomb victims who have spent their entire lives fighting for nuclear abolition and for justice and for an apology from the United States government. I stand with them in solidarity, and I know that everybody in the Peace Action New York State Network and Peace Action Network broadly and Peace Network and all of the United States stands in solidarity with you all in Korea. So thank you for including us in your work and allowing us to work together and facilitate events like this and rallies and other forms of really important organizing. I am so looking forward to seeing many of you in Seoul in November. I am looking forward to continue this work, and I am, like you, looking forward to a nuclear weapons-free future. So please keep doing what you're doing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing our Peace Action students and our Peace Action members how you organize in Korea and beyond. And I look forward to the coming months of us working together for justice for Korean atomic bomb victims. So 감사합니다. Looking forward to seeing you in November, and thank you to Spark for everything too. Bye.
Hi, my name is Colleen Moore. I'm the Director of Peace with Justice at the General Board of Church and Society, the social justice and public witness agency of the United Methodist Church, based in Washington, D.C. I attended the first International Forum on the International People's Tribunal in Hapcheon in South Korea in 2023. I'm honored to be a part of the International Organizing Committee for the IPT and to be traveling to Seoul in November for the IPT. The People's Tribunal is so significant in this work, to finally declare that the US atomic bombings of Japan were illegal, and to acknowledge that the Korean survivors and victims still have not received justice to this day. Especially amidst the continuing Korean War, escalating tensions on the Korean Peninsula, and lack of relations between the US and North Korea, it is more important than ever to address a way forward toward peace and justice. I'm so glad today's event is taking place to express this movement's determination to advance the struggle to resolve nuclear confrontation on the Korean Peninsula. I stand in solidarity with the People's Tribunal because 81 years since the atomic bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima is too long for the evasion of justice. The United Methodist Church has long stood in solidarity with people around the world calling for peace, justice, and democracy, and that includes the Korean Peninsula. At GBCS, we urge the U.S. government to take actions for peace and justice, including supporting the Peace on the Korean Peninsula Act in the U.S. Congress. Especially as an American, I feel it is our responsibility to call upon our government to issue an apology for the atomic bombings and work toward building lasting peace on the Korean Peninsula by concluding a peace agreement. I send prayers and solidarity wishes to all of you today at this event, as well as the Spark members who have long led this effort. I hope we can move forward together in cross-border solidarity and see each other soon in Seoul this November.